want to attain where the ummah was previously, but it starts with the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that there's an effort that needs to take place. And the only correct effort is the effort which is according to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for this, yes, ikhlas and sincerity is needed. But just because I have sincerity doesn't mean I'm able to guide the ummah. Sincerity is a key, but it's not the method. Someone can be sincerely doing something, but it bears no fruits. And it's completely useless. Doesn't bear any fruits in this world and perhaps not even in the hereafter. For example, if I want to grow fruits that grow in summer, but I plant the wrong seeds. I try and grow in summer with something that only grows in the winter. I may be sincerely working day and night, trying to plant these seeds, making sure the soil is fertile. I'm very, very sincere in the work I do. But after 20 years of working, I'm going to end up with nothing. Because the way I'm making the effort is wrong. So it's not the sincerity that's a problem. And it wasn't sincerity that was the key. It was knowledge. Knowledge has to be accompanied with sincerity. And what knowledge is that? It's the knowledge of the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, knowledge of the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, knowledge of the Quran and hadith, understanding the mizaj. Not just the apparent wording, but understanding the mindset of the Quran and Sunnah. Understanding the mindset of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the blueprint that he left behind. So sometimes you say, brother, I'm sincere. Or, subhanAllah, we're sincere and want to do this. But sincerity isn't the key. The key is knowledge of the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then, inshallah, if you have sincerity, Allah will reward you as well. So this is why, as Muslims in the community, we need to be part of this effort. And the effort is the only thing that we need to do. Not only thing, but at least one thing that I contribute towards establishing the overall picture in our Muslim community is that we try and emphasize this halaqah, we try and prioritize it and give da'wah towards it. And then so we can have a day that the Muslims gather and we ground ourselves upon spirituality. Because without this spirituality, then nothing else can come into play. As believers and as Muslims, we want the deen of Allah to reach exactly where the Prophet ﷺ left it at. We want the spirituality to go back to the spirituality of the Sahaba. We want the knowledge to go back to the knowledge of the Sahaba. We want our Islamic state to go back to the way that the Prophet ﷺ left it at. But all of these is impossible until we establish the foundations that Rasulullah established in the order that he established it. And that's the purpose of this halaqah. And then after that, so this is part of our vision. And then besides that then we have the children's education. If we study the seerah, what we'll understand is that the deen of Allah spread in the Meccan community through a zeal of the youngsters. The average age of a convert was 16, 17. Yes, you had the senior companions that were there to look after the affairs of the Muslim community, to take roles of leadership. But the average age of a convert was 16, 17 years old. And they're the ones that pushed it. Because the older you get,